We're recording. Good morning, everybody. You are listening to the Superpower Radio Show with your host, Brenda Major and
Mia Dawson.
And we are always excited to bring you this opportunity to hear from people who are supportive of the cause that we are all fighting for, and that is to bring a safe and supportive environment for people who are caretakers of folks with autism and other superpowers, as we call them. We consider autism and what other people would say are disabilities to be superpowers because of the insight and gifts that they bring to us and that they bring out in those of us who are supporters, advocates, and caregivers. We are not trained clinicians or diagnosticians. We do not have degrees in autism or the spectrum. And the information that you'll hear on our show is designed to offer strategies, comfort, support, faith, and sometimes a little bit of humor to folks who are impacted by autism. We are incredibly excited, honored, and humbled to have a special guest with us today. She is one of the top 2022 CNN heroes. She is the co-founder and CEO of The Answer, which is located in Forest Park, Illinois. Please help us welcome to the show, Debra Vines. And I see your superpower coming through.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Debra, can you just share a little bit about your journey and how you became an advocate for autism?
Well, again, thank you so much for having me today. I am a superpower autism mom of a amazing 35-year-old young man, Jason. And that is the reason why I started my advocacy work, because my late husband and I lived in a community that was truly underserved. And we just found ourselves complaining about it all the time. And I was working for a state agency, and they ran out of funding. And I told my husband I didn't want to go back to work for anybody else anymore. I wanted to help the people. Wow. And so I didn't know what that was going to look like as it relates to money, because it wasn't any money coming in for a very long time. But, God always provides.
Yes.
And, since then, we've serviced close to 4,000 families, probably over 4,000 since 2007. But we started with just a support group because I felt like that it was a lot of families out there that was requiring the same and yearning the same things that I was requiring. And the first thing I was yearning for was to talk to another parent that had a child with a disability, because I felt like I was on this earth alone. And once we started the support group, it just grew from there, and parents started, sharing with us what their needs were as it relates to education, doctors, things that were going on with them within the community, training that they needed in different areas. So it just grew from there.
Okay. Were you as surprised as we were to find that there are so many people diagnosed with autism every year? I mean, 1 in 44.
Well, yes, I am. I'm surprised a little bit, but then again, I'm not, because, autism is such a broad spectrum. And I truly believe for many years that a lot of our children and adults, were misdiagnosed or not diagnosed at all. And the reason why the numbers, I believe, are going up is because they're getting the correct diagnoses. For instance, I know, and I'm just speaking for myself, but when I was coming up, it was always somebody on the block or somebody in church or somebody at school that was just a little bit different. And we didn't know what autism was. We called it mentally retarded. We called it different. We called it special. So now those words, all those adjectives have a meaning, and they're called autism. Most of them are, and the thing about autism is it's not necessarily a physical disability. When you first look at my son, you can't tell that he has anything going on with him except he's exceptionally handsome.
And we've seen him on video. We agree.
Right.
That's the only thing you would say is, oh my God, he is so cute. But Then when he starts doing the things with his hands, like, the stimming and
The stemming.
the staring and things like that, then you're like, okay, because I've been places and people have come up to me and said, does your son have autism? And it's like this secret club that, once they say that, it's like the secret club, and the secret yearning inside is like, oh my God, you recognized it. Oh my God, who are you? Like, can we hug? It's like this secret love that just comes between parents when you recognize that it's someone else that's out there like your child, even though there's hundreds and hundreds. But when you finally encounter someone that understands what you're going through, and that was, I think, one of the main reasons why my husband and I wanted the answer to come into fruition, because before you can actually heal or be healed or empower or any of those things, you have to have the education. You have to know the path that you're going down first. And that path for me was a very rocky path. And I didn't want other parents to have to go through the same thing that we went through.
Now, your son, Jason, was diagnosed at 18 months. And I think that's around the time when Mia's son, Neo, was also. And we've talked about this on the show before, about how she and her husband felt when they got that news. But considering this was a few years earlier for you, how did you even have the forethought to think about getting him tested, and how did it feel to you when they came back with that diagnosis?
Well, as a mom, we know when there's something different about our children, especially when you have other children. I have a 48-year-old as well, and so Mark was definitely totally different. He was a A student, latchkey kid, no problems, no physical or developmental or mental problems at all. So when Jason came along, we knew that it was going to be some developmental challenges because he was a preemie. He didn't weigh but 2 pounds. He's a 24-week baby. So the doctor had already warned us that it would be developmental challenges. However, when the challenges came, I could see it. My husband just kept trying to ignore it, but I could see that it was something different. The eye contact stopped, and, all the things, all the benchmarks that he should have been meeting, even with having a developmental challenge. He just was not meeting the benchmarks. And so we took him to doctor after doctor after doctor. And we finally ended up with the diagnosis of autism, which I had never heard the word autism outside of the movie Rain Man.
And see, mine was different. I was when I was looking everything up, and I said, oh, she got the diagnosis, or you noticed it the same time I did. However, my son lost he had some words, he was looking correctly, and then he just lost it. So
actually, that happened with Jason too. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No,
that actually happened with Jason as well. He was kind of meeting some of the benchmarks. But then we woke up one morning, it was like he was gone. Like the body snatchers just came and took him away. Right after his inoculation. And not to say that I believe that immunizations have something to do with autism, because if it did, we all would have autism. But
you had and Miss Debra, you had the same experience I did. It was right after his too. But the difference between you and I was that was my first child. So I was like, what is you? At least you had something to compare it to. That was my first baby. So yeah.
And how old is your baby, Mia?
He is 14 now.
Okay.
He's 14 now. So I was like, what is going on? I didn't know. And my husband was the same as your late husband. Ain't nothing going on. He all right. He did. I'm like,
men are fixers. They fixers. They want to know that they can fix everything, and if they can't fix it, there's nothing wrong with it.
Did you ever? I was going to ask you that. Did you ever? Because I was a person, I wanted it to go away. So I prayed to God, and I was like, "You are a healer, so you need to heal this, and then we need to move."
I'm still praying.
Okay. Did you?
I'm still thanking him. I'm still expecting miracles every day. And I'm going to tell you that, I know it's a lot of believers out there.
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe in miracles, and I've seen miracles with my son. I've seen miracles with other people's children. The doctor said firstly that Jason wouldn't walk. They said he wouldn't walk. They said he wouldn't talk. They said a whole lot of things he wouldn't do. And then even at 35 years old, he didn't learn how to tie his shoes until he was 8. So everything after that is extra for me.
Okay.
They said that he's nonverbal, but I call it limited language. He has limited language because he
I
can,
like that.
if you can make a sound, you can say a word.
I
So he
like
does
that.
not have reciprocal conversation, but he understands everything that I'm saying just about. I
Yes.
can't give him a whole lot of things at one time,
Yes. Yes.
at the same time, everything I say, he understands. Now, can he give me back the response that I want, how I want it? No, but he understands. And he's actually starting to, when we ask questions, like for instance, when we out in the restaurant, because he loves Sprite and he doesn't get it at home.
Okay.
So when they ask him what does he want, he responds and say he wants a Sprite. So, things are happening every single day. And I think what often happens with not just parents that have children that have disabilities, but all parents, we get tired, right?
Yes.
And then
yes.
we get comfortable with them just being like they are. We just get
Yes.
comfortable. And sometimes we don't give that extra push for them to strive to be better, especially when they get to be adults. We just be like,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
it is what it is. I'm used to it. Let's
Yes.
just get through life. But not me. I'm expecting him every day when we go into our car. I say, Jason, do you want to drive? He can't drive. But I'm asking him every day, do you want to drive? Because I'm expecting him
Amen.
to say one day, yeah, mama, give me those keys.
Yeah.
Amen.
And to get in that
Amen.
car and drive perfectly. Yep.
Amen.
Exactly. I'm
Amen.
expecting
Yes, ma'am.
miracles every day.
Yes, ma'am. I love that.
So I know you said that you really were searching for answers. What are some of the answers really that you've been able to provide for other parents?
Yeah.
Oh my God, so many. Let's just start with again the support group, because a lot of our parents have developed relationships, with each other. They have safety nets now. And that's very important. Not just a safety net for themselves, but for their children as well. And then the educational component, because a lot of our kids, while they're in school, they don't get that extra help that they need.
That is very true. Yep.
So with our Spectrum University program, the kids get the opportunity to not just socialize and learn new socialization skills, but they get the opportunity to enhance their reading, writing, and math skills. We have very, very we have certified teachers, and our tutors are not just certified, but they're trained by the teachers as well. So we have a 1-to-3 ratio with our students, and they get that extra attention that they need. And then with our adults that age out of school that don't get that extra help, I'm going to give you a personal testimony. When Jason aged out of school, he did not have letter recognition, name recognition, number recognition. He couldn't say his address. He couldn't any of those things, because I was in a comfortable space where I felt like, oh, okay, well, I don't have the capability to do these things. But once I started just doing the mommy stuff, like really being intentional on everything I wanted him to learn. He still doesn't know a lot of things that I want him to know, but I promise you, he might not do it as well as I want him to do it, but he's doing it. He's trying to do it. So their educational skills have been increased. And then just being able to stand in line and be patient. One of our programs is exercise and dance program. So one of our instructors, Kendra Shabda, she teaches them different 8 counts of dance. And so to learn 8 count of dance, you have to do what? Pay attention.
Right.
So they're learning different skills and don't know that they're being taught through fun. And also a lot of our kids started gaining weight when they aged out of school. So this program actually is an exercise program as well. And they're losing weight too.
Okay. You said something that was so beautiful, and I want you to elaborate a little bit on it. You said that Jason has taken you places where you didn't think you would go. And I know you meant good places.
Oh, I don't know. That's
Or maybe a little bit of both.
He took me down some streets that I didn't want to go down. But you know what? It's the unconditional love for me.
Yeah.
It's the unconditional love. None of us wake up and say, "Oh, I'm going to be a good disability mom."
Right.
I never thought that I would have the patience to do some of the things that I've done, and even the twist that my life took. I know a lot of the determination I had to be a better person was because of Jason. So that was a lot of that was in there too, because I knew for me to be the best that I could be for him, I had to be the best for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just having Jason and knowing how much he needed me, but how much I needed to be there for me to show up for him.
Yeah.
How does your older son, because you said you had an older child, how did relate to Jason? Because I have a younger son, so I was just trying to see
they're
how do they
13
relate?
years apart.
Okay.
13 years apart. And
Okay.
Mark, when he was in high school, we sent him to Alabama. So
Okay.
he's actually been in Alabama since.
Okay.
He finished high school in Alabama, and went to college in Alabama. And so now he has his family, wife and two beautiful grandchildren.
Okay.
I have. So they live in Alabama now. And he has his own unique relationship with Jason.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
Let's just say that. Okay. Okay. I asked that question because it's hard. You're trying to manage a child with a superpower and a child with not. So, but you actually you only had to deal probably with one at a time. I'm having to probably deal with both of them at the same time. So I was just interested in how did you navigate?
Well, Mark was actually a teenager when Jason was born.
Okay.
So, you know, when you have a child with a superpower opposed to having another child, sometimes it can get in the way of the rearing of the other kid, because you have to give that child with the superpower all that extra attention that they don't understand. So I think just with our audience, the advice that I would give is to keep that balance, is to try to keep that balance and not forget that you have other children.
Okay.
That is beautiful.
And don't let them forget it either.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right. Now I know advocacy is definitely one of your superpowers. Can you tell us how in the world did you navigate that and really champion that in your community?
Yes.
You know, I've always been the type of person that fights for the underdog, even as a kid.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of 5 children. My oldest brother is deceased, but when my siblings would come in, I was always their protector, right? So I guess it just grew up in me to advocate and protect people. When I see something wrong, I'll always just want to fight for what was right. And so I guess it's something that's just been instilled in me all my life, is to fight for the underdog.
Okay.
So I ended up being the underdog, having to fight for myself.
For yourself. There you go. There you go. Look, and now you're the hero for other underdogs.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. To God be the glory. I'm glad he chose me.
We are grateful. I wanted to give you a little bit of time to talk about some events that you have coming up. And we are excited and gearing up for the expo. Can you share a little bit of that?
Yes. Well, the expo is a collaboration of the ANSA Incorporated and Chicago Autism Network. Executive Director Kimmy Matsumura. 2 years ago, at the height of COVID, we were talking, and she said, I think I want to do an expo. And I said, okay. and so we did it for 2 years online, and this would be our first year in person. Yeah, at Malcolm X College. And we are super excited. Right now we have over 500 people registered to be there. Yes. Over 500 people registered. Some amazing vendors and sponsors and resources. So, and then breakout sessions. So I don't want to tell you too much about it, because then you don't want to come, but you should be there. You should be there. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We have a photo booth. We're going to have a lot of fun along with getting resources. And then we have three different screeners that are going to be there: occupational, speech, and I think physical. I'm not sure, maybe an autism screener as well. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be great. And then let me see, April 1st, we're going to be hosting because we do a bullying intervention program as well at three different locations. And it started out with some funding that we received on teaching the children about bullying against persons with disabilities.
Yeah.
But it's grown to much more than that, because you know, people are being bullied all the time, whether you have a disability or not. And all of us
Yes,
have
ma'am.
some type of disability. We wear glasses, we might
You
talk
know,
too fast, or
Yep.
we eat too much, or
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
everybody has some type of disability, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so what we want to teach the children is that, you know, be kind. It's basically being kind. But we do have a big piece in there that we teach about disabilities, and we teach conflict resolution and a lot of other different components that goes along with bullying intervention. So we're going to have a big event for the youth on April 1st in Broadview at Schroeder Park. So we'll be partnering with other organizations as well, like DLD for Youth, the Business Model Network, Black Men United, the Village of Broadview. So it's going to be just something for the youth to do, because it's the first Saturday, I think, of cleanup week. Oh, there I get aging myself. Spring break.
Yeah, there you go.
Spring break.
Look, but for us, that's what it was. You got
cleanup week.
you at home cleaning up.
Literally cleanup
Yes.
week. I promise you, when Monday morning came, we were getting those brooms and buckets and dust. Oh, I hated cleanup
We
week.
must have had the same parents. Yes.
Exactly. And then we have May 6th, our annual walkathon. This will be our 15th year, 16th year.
Wow.
And we actually raise money to sponsor children and adults with autism, developmental, intellectual disabilities to horseback riding camp or any summer camp that the parents choose. We do a specific sponsorship amount. And then we also give away 2 college scholarships for diverse learners. So last year we raised $50,000. I think our goal this year is $75,000. So.
Wow.
Well, Miss Debra, my son rides horses. We own our own horse. So that is absolutely amazing.
So you live in Illinois? Are you in Illinois?
We are in, yes, we're in Springfield. So we're about 2.5, 3 hours south of Chicago.
Well, I can send you the information, because it's right in Oswego, and you can drive them to the game.
Hey, and let him come up.
Oh, wow. He would love that.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hate to cut this off, but we got to cut this off.
Well, we just going to have to do a part 2.
We are definitely going to have to do a part 2. But we want to thank you, Debra Vines, for
thank you for having me. I appreciate it, being able to talk to anyone about this amazing work that we do to help families living with disabilities. And if there's anyone out there that needs any help with their child or adult that's living with any type of developmental or intellectual disability, not just autism, you can call us at 708-296-5651, or you can go to our website, theanswering.org, and sign up for our walkathon. Our walkathon is coming up. It's going to be great. And got any questions, again, call us.
All right. Thank you so much. And on that note, you have been listening to the Superpower Radio Show with Brenda Major and
Mia Dawson
and Debra Vines.
We're definitely going to have her back. You can catch repeats of this show. I will tell you, it airs every Monday morning on iHeartRadio, 9 a.m. Central Time, 7 Pacific Time, and 10 Eastern Time. And so we are excited that we know we're going to have Miss Vines back with us soon. So
yes, ma'am.
Thank you all for listening, and have a good day.
All right, take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.